Welcome to today's class. My name is Leslie McKee and I am a LIT yoga instructor. One of the great things I love about LIT is that we organize our bodies for movement. And one of the ways we organize is by getting our posture to its most optimal place. To do that, we stack up our pelvic girdle, our shoulder girdle, and our skull. And this is called the LIT Triple S. So today's class is called Stack It Up. Come join me down on the mat and we will get our navigational points centered so that we can move optimally. So feel your skull land, let it sink and settle, and then let those arm bones start to glide down toward the mat so you can really feel your scapula, also known as your shoulder blades, on the mat. And then we come to the pelvis, and finding your sacrum is right in between that flat part of the low back. And at the front, we have our two pelvic points. We also have two pelvic points in the back. The front points are called the ASIS bones, and the back points, the PSIS bones. So your sacrum is right at the PSIS bones, and we want that to be neutral. No tilting of the pelvis. This would be a tilt. You can see that, and this would be a tilt. So just find your most neutral point, and these are your natural spinal curves. So in between these two ASIS points, these hip points, we have a really nice marker for the diamond of the core. If you take your two thumbs and put them on your navel, let your first fingers go long and they'll touch your pubic bone. So in between this area, we want to start to draw this together and down. This is how we find the abdominal core at its strongest. Take your hands onto your thighs now and start to lengthen out your spine away from your thighs. Let the scapula stay on the mat, the skull and the sacrum as you start to move here. Notice how the abdominal core starts to draw down toward the mat, and encourage that. Keep it drawing down to the mat and pulling inward toward each other to support you through movement. We'll draw the left leg into the chest and start to heel toe the right leg out. What I want you to discern here is that your pelvis doesn't move, just you're moving through the hip and the leg. So I like to keep that right leg bent a bit. If I go straight, I notice my pelvis moves a little. So starting to discern pelvic movement from hip movement is a huge part of being able to stack up your posture, finding that triple S. So we'll release the hand, letting the iliopsoas muscles start to get really supple and strong here. We need that strength in order to hold our posture. One more hug into the chest and we'll change to the second side. So first drawing the right leg in and then start to heel toe or slide that left leg out. And really thinking about the sacrum at this point and letting that neutral spine hold with a bent left leg. Hug the right knee in, hug it in a little more, and then start to release the hands down into a low V. Keep holding that. We're going to do this in the flow too, to really help emphasize the strength we need in this muscle. Most of us think that we have tight hip flexors. Usually what we have is weak hip flexors from being in an extension all day from a tilted pelvis. We'll hug the knees into the chest and then we'll plant them on the mat, get the spine nice and long again. And we'll take our block and slide it underneath the sacrum, really identifying the sacrum versus the glutes now. Tap on the glutes so they can work and tap on the thighs. Coming into this low ramp bridge, we just have the sacrum supported so that we have everything else firing as we need to. We'll take some marches here where we're just hinging at the hips. Take your hands right at the ASIS bones and point your fingers into the hip hinge so that you can feel that hip crease. Each time the foot lands, you can also tap on the glute. In LIT, we love to use our hands to get our muscles firing faster. So we want the glutes really firing, the hammies firing, the quads, the whole thing is working like a symphony to help us hold that neutral posture, that triple S. Getting feedback from the floor for the skull and the scapula, and from the block for the sacrum. So much is happening here. All right, so we're gonna hold, tap on the thighs, tap on the glutes, lift off of the block and slide it out. We'll take a wrist stretch, take your left hand up, pulling back on the fingers, breathe here. Nice Samavriti breath, equal inhales, equal exhales. We'll switch sides. The palm is spreading as the fingers are being pulled back to make some space and warm up the wrists. Yes. Good. Shake it out a little, and we'll come down with some slow descent here. So you're really feeling your spine bones start to wake up a little. As your sacrum lands, quick check-in and feedback for that triple S, skull, sacrum, skull, scapula, sacrum. Whew. All right, say that 3 times fast. We'll just call it the triple S from here on out. So hug the block again, and we'll lift the legs up. And we're gonna keep working on discerning the pelvis moving, or really not moving, from the hip moving. So interlace your hands behind your head and really secure that triple S down on the mat. As you exhale, come up, elbows come towards each head, rest into the hands, but coming up off of the scapula, and then pull in and down through the diamond of the core. We're working this deep core, and then inhale, come down. Exhale, come up. Pull in and down, head leans back into the hands, squeeze the block. So much going on here. And then inhale, come down. We'll add on. Exhale, come up. Pull in through the diamond of the core, lean the head back, scapula's off the mat, and then just hinging at the hips, send the feet away a little bit. Bring them back. It doesn't have to be a lot. There's already a lot happening. Inhale, come down. We'll repeat this. Exhale, come up. Pull in and down through the deep diamond of the core. Head leans back. Whole lot of shaking going on as you send those legs away. And then back to neutral. Inhale, come down. We'll add on here. Exhale, come up. Pull in and down. Head leans back to the hands. Feet come away. Gentle twist to the left. Coming up off of the left shoulder blade. Back to center, and then inhale, come down. Exhale, come up. Right side this time. First the legs, then the gentle rotation to the right, coming up off the shoulder blade, back to center. Inhale, come down. One more time, just like that, turning everything on in that abdominal core. Exhale up, legs move away, turn to the left. Pull it in and down, back to center, and then inhale, come down. Now you can bend the knees as much as you like if you're getting tired. Exhale, come up, feet go away, head to the hands, and then turning to the right, back to center, reset everything. Inhale, come down. We need that strength and that motor firing of the core to hold us in movement. Legs come to the right, nice gentle twist, tap on the left glute, and you can kind of smooth the tissue out away from the hip flexor. Nice little massage. We love to use our hands in LIT because it helps us really organize the motor firing for the tissues. Good, come to the other side. Just a short unwind here. Tap on that right glute, big postural muscle supporting that triple S. Just a gentle massage away. Good. Hug the knees into the chest, and we'll rock and roll up to all fours. As you come into quadruped, come with a short base so that the knees are closer to the hands than in traditional yoga. The feet come straight out behind you. And we'll start to feel some cat and cow here. But first, I want you to find your triple S without the floor teaching you where it is. So it's a lift through the throat to get the ears stacked over the shoulders. And then the shoulders are stacked in line with the pelvis. So the pelvis isn't tipping at all. It's quite neutral. The tailbone is not flared. Everything's just in line and stacked up. Drop the head for cat and let the spine bones lift toward the ceiling. Now feel the scapula and how it rolls off the back, almost like you have a hill and two glaciers sliding down, or we'll say a mountain, sliding down. And then draw those glaciers, right, the scapula back up towards center, stack everything up in this neutral, and then come into cow. Now with cow, don't let your chin lift too much. You want to keep the throat lifting rather than the chin. So much new to learn here. All right, come back to neutral. Press and dial out the hands as you come into cat one more time. Thinking about those glaciers sliding down off the back here. Then pull the glaciers back together. That's the scapula. And then we'll come into cow. So cow, I want you to really think about lifting through the throat. Good, neutral. We'll extend the right leg back and the left arm forward, keeping them on the mat for a minute, and then just check in with the pelvis. Take a block and stick it right onto that pelvis so that there isn't any rotation. You stay really organized here. So we'll stack up that triple S and then lift if you like, or you can stay down if you need that feedback. Good. Reset, right arm, left leg. Dial out the hand, the left hand that is, and check the block for any rotation of the pelvis. And then you can lift, kind of launching up. Good, reset. One more time each side. And you can have fingertips down, check in with your block, lift through your throat. And then you can have the option of adding knee to chest here, get a little warm. And one more time, knee to chest if you like. And then we'll set that down, second side. Starting with that feedback from the floor, lift through the throat, pull the glaciers onto your back, and then lengthen out, knee to chest, knee to chest, if you like. You can always stay with the feedback from the floor. Good, we'll set the blocks aside. Downward facing dog, stay lifted in the shoulder blades, weight in the hands, dial them out. And then finding your triple S here is gonna have you lifting through the throat, maybe a bend in the knee to keep the pelvis neutral. We'll extend the left leg and draw it knee to chest, knee to chest. Yes, good. Set that leg down, right side, knee to chest. So the more structured we are in the movement, the more freedom we get and the easier it becomes. Plant the feet, walk the hands back to the feet. This is happy squat. Place your hands onto your ankles. Send your booty way, way back so that your knees and ankles are in alignment and you're feeling that hip hinge that we were working on the floor. We want that hip hinge to be happening a lot. And we do that by bending the knee and really reinforcing it. Lift through the throat and then stack it up. Pull in through the abdominal core, and then we'll come up to standing with that strong abdominal core. Walking to the front of the mat. We'll move through some sun salutation 1 in our lit style. So arms come forward and up for lit, and exhale, hands to hip creases, press back, finding that happy squat. Hands come to the mat, right foot steps back, knee to the mat, top of the foot to the mat. Find the diamond of the core and compact it, and then stack up your triple S. Arms come forward and up. Pull back with the front foot for stability. And then exhale, hands to the mat. You're coming into plank. I'm going to show a modification. Dial out the hands. Keep the shoulder blades on the back, the scapula, your glaciers, elbows bend, and then cobra. Everything's engaged. Glutes are on. Lift through the abdominal core, and then pelvis lifts for downward facing dog. Feet pedal. So nice. And then we'll take our right side. So step it forward, knee to the mat, top of the foot to the mat. Compact the core, finding that neutral. So stack it up, triple S. Inhale, arms lift, abdominal core is on. Hands to the mat, step it forward, feeling that moment of happy squat here. We have our nice knee to ankle alignment and lift up. Hands to heart center, pause for a minute. Feeling the ears over the shoulder and the shoulders over the hips or pelvis. Good. One more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to hip creases. This time the left side steps back, knee to the mat. We'll keep the toes tucked under, compact the core, and we're going to roll the shoulders here. So stack it up, ears over shoulders, shoulders over pelvis. Triple S. Warming up the shoulders for weight bearing and bigger movements. Good, hands to the mat. Dial out the hands. I'm going to show our plank on the knees, or you can do full plank. Dial it out, elbows move back, kitty claw the hands towards you, and everything is integrated. Glutes are on, lift, downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Left foot steps forward this time, knee to the mat, toes stay tucked under, hands go right to the pelvis to compact that core. Feel the diamond pulling in and down toward the spine. And then we'll roll as we stack it up. Nice gaze in front of you, working on that Samavritti breath. In and out through the nose. And then place the hands forward, step the back foot in, inhale, rise. And then hands to heart center, just feeling that triple S. First sequence is similar to the first posture we just did. So inhale, hands rise. We're moving toward low lunge. Exhale, hands to the hip creases as the booty moves back. Right foot steps back, knee to the mat, top of the foot or toes tuck under. We'll keep the left hand behind this time, right onto the glutes. Lift the right arm, stack it up, feel that neutral pelvis. And on the opposite side is that deep abdominal core pulling in towards you. Right arm is gonna land for a modified side plank. So firm up the arm as you pivot on the knee into the side plank. Right hand is dialing out to centrate this shoulder, right? To keep it in place. So take your hand underneath, right onto the shoulder blade, right onto your scapula, and feel the muscles hug in around the scapula. There's a real setting, a locking in that happens as you pull the tissues to support it. Once you have that feeling, lift the fingertips and drop the ear. A lot happening here. We'll take the left leg and step it forward, turning to the right for side lunges. So set your feet up so that you are sending your booty back to get the knees and ankles in alignment. And moving side to side as you like. You can hold onto the ankles like we did in happy squat or put them on the shins. You can be higher. Just getting some nice tissue pull here. We'll hold to the left side, walk the hands away, drop the head and then lift through the throat, really stacking that triple S. Notice the abdominal core, let it pull in here toward the spine. Drawstringing the waist, find that pull. Walk your hands toward the back of your mat. Hands land, knee lands. Plant the left hand for twisted crescent. Same action. First, take your hands underneath to that scapula and turn on the muscles by pulling back and centrating that shoulder in. Lock it in. And then we can turn at the ribs, at the thoracic spine, and extend the arm. Ear can drop to the shoulder, keeping that triple S feeling. Good. Plant the hands. Hand down dog, three-legged with the right leg in the air. Just take some little circles here, warming up the hip. And the other way. And then right leg steps forward, knee to the mat. We'll do our second side. First, compact the core. And then we'll take the right arm behind on the left glute, tap it on. Left arm comes up long. Ears to shoulders, triple S. Left arm lands. Dial it out, use your hands underneath the scapula to turn on the muscles, coming into modified side plank. Once you're there, extend the arm, you can drop the head, getting a nice neck release. Big breath. Hand to waist as you step that right leg forward, and then we'll come around toward the left for side lunges again. All right, find your triple S here because this is about the time we start to lose it. So stack it up and pull in through the deep abdominal core. Things are starting to get looser, more juicy, and that's good. We want that, but we also want our abdominal core to hold us strong. Nice neutral spine. Pull those shoulder blades onto your back. And then we'll hold to the right, Walk the hands out, lift through the chin. Not the chin, lift through the throat. Yikes, lift through the throat. Good, walk the hands forward now. So facing the front of the mat, right hand lands, knee to the mat, set the scapula with the hand, and then you can turn for your twisted crescent. Here, down toward your shoulder, big neck release. Good, plant the hands, three-legged down dog, left leg lifts. Little circles here, keep the pelvis so neutral. This is all happening in the hip. Good, and then plant the foot, and we'll just march it out a little here. Nice and easy. Keep lifting through the shoulder blades and the armpits, really. Shoulder blades are on the back. Good, we'll walk the feet to hands this time. Moment and happy squat to get organized, and then inhale, rise. Good, I'm gonna grab a little drink of water. We'll come through a sun salutation A to just get ourselves reorganized. Inhale, reach the arms up. Check your stack here with your arms up, ears over shoulders. Shoulder blades lift here. And then pelvis is neutral. Nice strong glutes. Press down through the feet and feel the abdominal core pull in. Good. Hands to hip creases, moving through happy squat. Plant the hands, feet come back, and you can take a full plank here. I'm going to show kneeling plank because it's really nice to get reorganized. So pull kitty claw the hands back towards you, dial out the hands, and then lower. Abdominal core is lifted toward the spine, glutes are on, and then inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll come right into our second sequence from here. Left leg lifts into three-legged down dog, knee to chest, and then step the foot forward for high crescent lunge. On a lit high crescent lunge, I really like a double bent knee. So it's almost like a little bit of a telemark ski. Double bend your knee, stack shoulders, ears, triple S, pelvis. Hand can come right to the pelvis to get organized. We'll take our hands to the side waist here, and then knee to chest. Just like we did to prep, turn on your left glute, hug everything in, and really organize that triple S. You can use your hand for support, just like we did on the mat. Imagine the mat behind you. Super strong abdominal core, and then you can let your hands come to a low V. Good. We'll take the foot back into tilted crescent, slide the hands back, get organized here. Glutes are on, abdominal core is on. Take your right hand to your thigh and then your left hand, press down and lift into airplane. Watch the chin and keep everything stacked even in this pose. Right leg lands, open warrior two. We'll get organized here by taking the right hand onto the pelvis, the left hand behind. So it's a bit of a pulling in and down here to organize the pelvis. Turn on the glutes. We'll take the right hand behind now and the left hand to the back of the head and reverse. Come through warrior two, switch the hands, right hand to the skull, left hand to the sacrum. Come over for warrior variation. Good, back to warrior. Now extend the arms long. Reversing the warrior, and then warrior variation. Good, turn toward the front of the mat, plant the hands, and we're gonna come right into cat-cow. So check in here. Let the shoulder blades slide off the back for your cat. Come through neutral, holding everything in, lifting through the throat, stack it up, and then find your cow. Good. Feet walk back into plank, hold strong. This is where we build strength. So knees can be down, same effect. And then coming into locust, everything turned on, nice and strong. Hands underneath you. Downward facing dog, we have a second side to do. Right leg lifts, three-legged down dog, knee to chest, step it forward. Coming into your double bent knee, high crescent lunge, also known as a split squat. Good, stack it up, triple S, and then hands to waist, knee to chest. Hold, and you can hold strong with your hands or let your hands come out. Right glute is on. Coming back, tilted crescent, arms fly back, stack it up. Left hand to thigh, right hand on top, lifting for airplane. Samavriti breath, breathe through your mouth if you need to. And then warrior two. Organize here, glutes are on, tap them on, compact the core. And then we'll take the left hand to sacrum, right hand to skull, reverse. Coming through warrior two, arms, we'll switch left hand to skull. Coming forward, warrior variation. Come back to neutral, this time with the arms long. Right arm is long over the ear, and then left arm is long over the ear. Good, land your two arms. We'll come down to the mat, coming right into cat-cow. Find your neutral, find your triple S. As you come through cow, reorganize the pelvis, get your neutral on, extend each leg. Here's your plank, hold strong. Knees to the mat as you lower into locust. Good. Lifting through the pelvis, march it out. Long spine here. Feel the length, keep the knees bent as much as you need to. Lift through the armpits, lift through the throat. Good, we'll walk the hands back, revisiting that nice happy squat. See if you've got that nice deep hip hinge. Finding that triple S here, and then we'll come to standing, taking a nice high knee walk to the front of the mat. Yeah, feel that hip hinge. All right, we're gonna put this all together. That's one of my favorite things about Lit Yoga. I get to revisit everything again when we're nice and warmed up. Inhale, hands rise. Exhale, hands to hip creases. Step the right foot back, knee to the mat. Keep the toes curled under. Coming right into that nice stack. Right arm is up, left arm on the glute. Nice side seam here, stretching over to the left side. Keep the ears stacked. Nice release for the neck. And breathe. Come back to neutral, plant the right arm, slide the left arm onto the scapula to set it. Pivot on the knee. This time that leg can swing up for a little bit of length. You can put the arm overhead, and then option to grab the ankle if that's in your practice, keeping your pelvis from moving. It's really got to be locked in here. Good, big step around for side lunges. And then we can get a little bit twisty here. So you can do some lawnmower pulls, drawing elbows up toward the ceiling, punching down to the mat, or just take them as you were before. Keep that triple S stacked, watch the chin, and pull in through the abdominal core. Keep breathing. Good, we'll turn toward the back of the mat. Twisted crescent, slide the right arm underneath, and then set the scapula. Knee can be down or up, and turn open, ear toward shoulder. Good, three-legged down dog, right leg lifts. And then to stay on the same side, we'll lift the left leg now. Draw it knee to chest, and then step it forward, high crescent lunge. Double bend that knee, we're facing the back of the mat. We're gonna add a little combo in here. So knee comes to chest, and then knee comes into airplane. Use your hand as a buttress. Coming back to high crescent lunge. Knee to chest, you've been here before, woohoo. And then turn on that glute to hold you. And then knee comes to airplane. Lift through the throat. Good, we'll land that back leg, warrior two, reverse. And come forward, warrior variation. And then we'll come to the front of the mat this time for our cat-cow. Doesn't matter what order you do it in, just really coming into this pause here to check in with your posture. Stacking everything up, coming through neutral. We'll step back into plank, hold that plank nice and strong. So abdominal core is on, ears are stacked over shoulders. Shoulder blades are on the back. Knees to mat, pull back as you lower. Chest is open. Press back, downward facing dog, lifting through the pelvis. And then you can pedal out the feet if you like that feeling. We have a second side to do. So right leg comes into three-legged down dog. Knee to chest as you step it forward. Knee to the mat for low lunge. Stack everything up. Right arm is lifted. Sorry, left arm is lifted. Right arm is behind the back. We got this. Lean over to the side. Big breath. As we come back to neutral, that left hand lands. Dial out the hand and find that place where the scapula is set. Lift the leg, and then option to grab at the ankle if you have that range of motion. If you don't worry, it'll come. And then watch the head. I just noticed mine was drooping way forward. So stack it up. Big step forward, turning to the left this time. Side lunges, find your way. You can add your arms or keep them still. And we'll turn to the back of the mat this time again and plant the knee for our twisted crescent. You can also have the knee up if you did that on that side. Little scapula check in with that left arm. Good. Breathing and holding that deep core together. Everything stacked. Three-legged down dog. We'll take the left leg in the air and then set it down, marching that right leg in the air. Knee to chest as you step it forward. Split squat here, high crescent lunge. So here comes our combo. We'll take the knee to the chest, hands to buttress as you come into airplane. And then back to your high crescent lunge. Knee to chest, coming into airplane. Keep everything on. And then we'll land that back foot, warrior two. So just getting a little playful. We'll reverse our warrior with our combos once we have that optimal body patterning. Back to warrior two. We'll turn toward the front of the mat this time. Here comes our cat-cow, checking in with that spine. First, find that neutral. Dial out the hands, get the shoulder blades on the back, and then let them slide off for cat. And pull them back on for cow. Keep the pelvis neutral. Send the feet back for plank. Lower for cobra. And we'll just place our hands underneath our head here. Catch our breath. Nice, fun practice. Focusing on the core and our triple S. The shoulder blades can be elevated here, but the glutes are on and the deep core is on. Good. We'll plant the hands and we'll come back onto our back, just like we started our class. Knees into chest. Take the right ankle over the left for figure four and slide the fingers between the toes. The gait has so much to do with our posture. The posture has so much to do with our gait. We really want to work those two elements at the same time. Working our triple S helps us do that. Nice breath. Coming back to Samavriti if you've lost it. Starting to calm the nervous system. And then we'll release the foot, coming to the second side. Figure four, left ankle over right thigh. And release the fingers and toes if that's accessible. Good, release, and we'll come into happy baby. And what I want you to feel in your happy baby is that you have your whole triple S on the mat. So the sacrum is on the mat. That's the part that usually pops up. And same with the shoulder blades. So pull the shoulder blades back on the mat, pull the sacrum on the mat, and notice how you go into a little deeper hip hinge here. This is like happy squat on your back. Take your thumbs and rub the toes. Just give them a little massage. Good. Start to release. I'm going to use 2 blocks for Shavasana today. You can use a foam roller too, or a pillow. I'm going to set them in a line right underneath the glutes and extend the legs. And this is the same action we did when we started class. When we extended the legs away to keep the pelvis neutral, we kept a bend in the knee. So it's the same idea. We're keeping this bend in the knee to reinforce the neutral spine, the neutral pelvis, but being able to completely unload and relax here. So let go of any abdominal core tension, any scapular tension, and maybe shake the head back and forth a couple times, just finding that comfortable spot on the skull, letting the arm bones settle down to the mat. So let the scapula get comfortable. And then of course the sacrum is already nice and supported. We'll lick the lips here and take a flutter together. So inhale, exhale through the mouth. And just let this face get really soft now, feeling that vibration of your own, it's like your own hum, your own tuning fork. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. And draw one knee at a time up toward your chest, giving yourself a nice big hug. And you can slide your blocks out, or whatever supportive sacrum device you had. And we'll come over onto our side, bouncing up to seated. And just take a minute to stack up here. Feel your sit bones beneath you, coming to a comfortable seat. And just notice how when you're actually stacked on top of your sit bones, your abdominal core turns on lightly. I want to keep that in mind through the day. There should always be like a little bit of tension there, like 20%. And that's yourself being held in your most empowered way. So thank you for joining me. So thrilled you're here. Reach out if you have any questions, and happy movement. Namaste.